The house was all lit up, and the lights after the darkness made his eyes feel full, and he said to himself, childishly, as he walked up the drive, "Lights, lights, lights," and repeated in a dazed way, "Lights, lights, lights," as they came into the house. When I was 5, my parents bought a summer house. For years, we had spent our weekends sailing, driving between our home in Boston and the Rhode Island marina where we kept the boat. And for years, my parents had admired the row of waterfront cottages they could see from the highway bridge. One weekend, leaving me with friends, they stopped at a local real estate agency. "The houses on the water almost never come up," the agent said, not quite truthfully. "But one came on the market this morning." She took them to see it. A wooden house built in 1890 and in a state of price-deflating disrepair. Sheets of plastic were stapled across its windows. To one side was a garage, to the other a desiccated lawn and concrete steps leading to the water. The small adjoining lot was full of rubble, all that remained of a shack annihilated by a hurricane 50 years before. A night nurse was the house's current occupant, and my parents had to wait until midnight before they were shown inside. They found rooms cramped and badly lit. Dampness seeped from the basement's earth floor. A bare wooden deck faced the water, but it too was wrapped in thick plastic. "We'll take it," my parents said, and in the morning signed the papers. Both architects, they spent the coming months drawing up plans. They tore down walls and put up new ones, winterized the basement and made it their bedroom. A new deck ousted the living room, and the old deck became the dining room. The garage was transformed into a studio, the empty lot to the south a garden, and every wall that faced the water became a wall of windows. We devoted our weekends that winter to supervising the renovation. A beastly wind leapt off the basin, slipping through cracks and ripping at the plastic sheets that now stood in for windows altogether. The house then was a skeleton. From the water, it looked like an architectural cross-section. We wore winter coats indoors. I spent my time collecting the sawdust that drifted like snow into the corners of rooms. I liked how light and downy and dry it was. And when, come spring, the house was finally finished, I mixed this sawdust with glue, molded it in the shape of a heart, and baked it in the oven. That summer, my parents planted an olive tree, a dogwood, a Japanese maple, and star magnolias. They put in rose bushes, honeysuckle, and a porcelain vine to soften the deck. They hoped a wisteria plant would gently envelop the trellis over the sunken yard. Instead, the vine grew freakishly, its weighty boughs promising to fell the structure altogether. My father vowed each summer to rip the wisteria out at its roots, and each summer my mother protested, citing the 2 glorious May weeks in which it shot forth its cloud of amethyst flowers. There were rolls of sod that steamed in the sunlight. My father carried them from the car, set them down on the soil, and gave them a push, unfurling each one like a long green carpet. For a few weeks they showed at the seams, but then the roots plaited together, and I could no longer tell where one piece stopped and the next began. Something similar happened inside. Where the rooms at first were neat and spare, one day I looked around me and realized our expanding lives had filled the gaps. We learned quickly how bleached things become in a house on the water, how exhaustively salt and light leach color, leaving behind pale blues and yellows. The spines of books, the cork-tiled floors, the rugs and prints and bed linens, each became a cheerfully bloodless version of itself. Before my parents were finished, they built a dock, and then they put down a mooring of their own. There is a photograph of the 3 of us posing beside this hunk of chain and metal. It was the last time we would see it before sending it down to the bottom of the sea, to settle in the mud and provide a stay against the tides to come.